CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, the Philadelphia Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys.
It is a perfect day for football here at Texas Stadium for the Dallas Cowboys' 1984 home opener against the Philadelphia Eagles. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton. You know, people all over are curious about the Dallas Cowboys. Which team will show up today? The one that came from behind to beat the Rams in the opening week? Or perhaps the team that got crushed soundly by the New York Giants last week? Well, Hank Stram, the Cowboys are 1-1. How do you assess them so far?
Dick, they haven't played very well in the first two games. They've had problems with turnovers. You know, last year, they turned over the ball 14 times the whole season. In the first two games, they've lost it 7 times already. That, along with the transition of new players, has made the difference in the way they have played so far in the two games.
You know, Hank, that quarterback soap opera goes on and on here in Dallas. Danny White, Gary Hogeboom. Hogeboom will be the quarterback again for the third straight game. And Tom Landry telling us in practice Friday that that decision may not be a permanent one. What was he really telling us?
Well, I think he was addressing us, addressing the press, addressing people around the country and around America, but basically he was talking to one person, and that is to Danny White. He wants to make sure that Danny White has a good perspective and has high hopes and expectations of being able to play before the season is over with, and that's what he was doing. He was talking to Danny White, but you know, I got paid a lot of money for not coaching, so what do I know?
Come on. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Eagles, Hank, have no problem at quarterback. He's Ron Jaworski, perhaps more of a leader than he's ever been before. And what are the Eagles' chances behind Jaworski against the Cowboys today?
Jaworski is one of the outstanding quarterbacks, I think, in the National Football League. He's earned the right to be recognized as such because he's won consistently. He's thrown 70 balls in the first two games of the season, hasn't thrown an interception. He said before the game that if he has 2.8 or 2.9 seconds to throw the ball, he will do a number on the defensive secondary of the Dallas Cowboys.
And, of course, he's hoping he gets that protection, and that's how he'll get those 3 seconds to get the ball off. Meanwhile, we're underway. The Cowboys have won the toss and will receive. Paul McFadden, a rookie, will be kicking to Gary Allen. And Ron Fellows is also back there for the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles also 1-1. They lost their opening game to the Giants, who have beaten both of these teams. And the Eagles came back in dramatic fashion at the finish to beat Minnesota last week. So we're set to go here. It is 76 degrees as we get underway. And Paul McFadden, one of 2 rookie kickers that Marion Campbell has brought aboard this year. This is a divisional game, and of course, as everyone knows, it means so much more than any other kind of contest. Gary Allen, inside the 10 at the 8-yard line, receiving the kickoff. Past the 20, and he's hit right about the 22-yard line by Evan Cooper. So here's the offense for the Dallas Cowboys. Hogeboom, of course, leading the team. Tony Dorsett and Ron Springs in the backfield. Doug Donley is starting the ball game. He was a question mark. Mike Renfro, the other wide receiver. Doug Cosby, the tight end, and Posderick, Scott, Rafferty, Peterson, and Cooper, the offensive line for Dallas. Cowboys have not been protecting all that well for Hogeboom, who was sacked 5 times last week against the Giants. First play of the ball game, and here is Dorsett going outside. Dorsett has a first down close to it and is actually knocked out of bounds short of that. Gain of 9 yards. Jerry Robinson makes the tackle. He'll be in on a lot of plays today. Defensively for the Eagles, Harrison, Clark, and Brown up front in the 3-4. Good inside backers, Jerry Robinson and Anthony Griggs. Joel Williams is their best pass rusher from outside. And in the secondary, Brenard Wilson again for Roynell Young. Edwards, the other cornerback, and 2 good hitting safeties, Hank and Ray Ellis and Wes Hopkins.
They're tough, and they're very strong, and they react pretty well against the pass, too.
Talked to Hopkins yesterday. He's coming home to play in Dallas. Started SMU. Here's Dorsett. Breaks 1 tackle and jumps forward for a first down at the 35-yard line. Jody Schultz makes the tackle. Tony Dorsett, who has had some good games against Philadelphia and not so good games against the Eagles.
You know, very obviously looking at the plan going into the game, talking to the Cowboy coaches and players, they indicated that they felt they could run outside early, and they're certainly going to try it. They did a good job running right, not so good running to their left.
Renfro comes out to the right. He's Got the good hands, although he had some problems against the Giants. Donley is split to the left. Dorsett the setback. 1st and 10. Play action pass. Hogeboom's first pass is complete to Renfro, who picks up another first down at the 48-yard line. Bernard Wilson makes the tackle.
I'm sure we're going to see a lot of that during the course of the game, working on Bernard Wilson, the cornerback who was starting over there for the first time. Normally plays another position. Play action fake inside, holds the linebackers, plenty of room on the outside on Bernard Wilson. Mike Renfro makes the first down. Here he gets a free release coming off the line of scrimmage. Look at this. Makes a good outside. The head turns quickly to locate the ball. He tucks it away, and he's finally knocked out of bounds by Bernard Wilson, but not until after he makes a big gain on the play.
So it's 1st and 10 at the Cowboy 48. Another play action pass. Hogeboom with time. Wide open is Ron Springs at the 30-yard line, and Springs gets close to the 20 and inside the 20-yard line. A 22-yard pickup. Robinson knocked him out of bounds, and Ron Springs was wide open after Hogeboom had all day.
Well, that's the key. They had no pass rush whatsoever that time. Hogeboom had all the time in the world to throw the football. It was a play-action fake, but not a very good fake. But look at that. There's no rush whatsoever. A crossing pattern by Ron Springs, number 20, and he's finally taken down from behind by number 56, Jerry Robinson, who runs a 4.5 40 as a linebacker.
He's got good speed. Ron Springs, a good receiver out of the backfield for the Cowboys. So it's 1st and 10. And here is Dorsett going outside, gets by Schultz and picks up a few yards, brings it out to the 13-yard line. So far the Dallas Cowboys, it's been an effortless march since they took over in the first possession of the game.
Again, they wound up running straight ahead but bounced outside. They're taking advantage, I think, of the lack of speed of Dennis Harrison. I think that's the feeling of the Cowboys. He's 6'8", 275. He's big and he's strong, but they feel they can get outside of him, and they've done that pretty well so far.
The Cowboys have not been successful in first quarters this year. They've been outscored 27-0. They've had trouble in past years, as a matter of fact, scoring in the first quarter. 2nd down and 4. Springs in motion. Here's Dorsett into the line and gets to the 11-yard line. Dennis Harrison makes the tackle. Tony Dorsett, who comes into the ball game 85 yards shy of Jim Taylor's standing, is the number 6 NFL all-time leading rusher.
You know, it's a funny thing watching the Cowboys. They shift around an awful lot, and people, I think, sometimes wonder how they get from all those formations to the original set. And we'll talk about that a little bit as we go along, because it's an optional thing on the backs. They line up wherever they want to, and then they must be in the set position when the ball is snapped, and that's why they have so much movement.
So everyone thinks that all the movements are playing. Not so. 3rd down and 2. Waddell Smith, who joined the club last week, is in there out of the shotgun. The pass intended for Renfro is incomplete.
Waddell Smith that time had a one-on-one on Edwards on the right side, the offensive left, but he didn't look over there at all. He made up his mind he was going to throw the ball right to Donley, who he likes to throw the ball to an awful lot. Not Donley, but number 82.
Mike Renfro.
Michael Renfro.
He came over from
I always want to say Ray like
Renfro.
his daddy. Yeah.
This is a 29-yard field goal attempt. Hogeboom is holding for Septien, who's 2 for 2 this year. All-time leading Cowboy scorer, and the kick is up. And the kick is good. No good. The kick is no good. So Rafeal Septien, normally a 29-yard kick, is automatic, but not this time, and so the Cowboys still haven't scored.
Let's take a look at it. He hooks it, and it goes to the left. Septien has kicked 20 consecutive field goals inside the 40 until today.
Marianne Sanford makes over 20 critical checks on seatbelt systems in GM cars. She's only one of over 1,800 GM people who make more than 6,000 safety inspections on over 6 million GM cars worldwide to build safer cars. Because it's important to you and to her.
Okay, guys, buckle up.
Nobody sweats the details like GM.
Warm moments, she's such a delight. Rub it up, baby, the water's just right. Snuggle down cozy, baby, sleep tight. Let our gentle flame keep you warm tonight. Warm moments, for those warm moments, nothing warms you like gas.
Warm is monastery is the lowest priced fuel. Shouldn't it be in your home?
Nothing wants you like gas.
Well, Rafeal Septien misses his first field goal of the season. And now the Philadelphia Eagles take over, 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line, so they got a break there after the Cowboys march down. And Ron Jaworski leading the Eagles. In motion is Mike Quick, who was out last week with a bruised knee.
One thing is very important. You have to throw on 1st down against the Cowboys.
Screen to Quick, and that's what they did. Quick trying to get away and brings it out to the 26-yard line, and he is strong as well as having that shifty maneuvers. So the offense, Ron Jaworski, UB Oliver is the blocking back. Wilbert Montgomery, we'll see a lot of him. Kenny Jackson, the rookie from Penn State, along with Mike Quick at wide receiver. John Spagnola, who was out all of last year, back at tight end. Maraldi, Perot, Dennard, Baker, and Leonard Mitchell, the offensive line for the Eagles.
That's going to be an interesting matchup. Mitchell blocking Ed Jones. It'll be an interesting confrontation all afternoon.
2nd down and 4. Inside, Wilbert Montgomery gets to about the 30-yard line and may have a 1st down. We'll see where they spot the ball. Randy White makes the tackle, and taking a look at the Dallas Cowboys defensively, their basic defense is 4-3 with Ed Jones, John Dutton, Randy White, and Jim Jeffcoat, all #1 draft picks. The linebackers, Mike Hegman, a rookie, Eugene Lockhart in place of Bob Brunig, who's out with an injured back. Walls and Fellows, the cornerbacks, and Dexter Clinkscale and Michael Downs are the safeties. Bob Brunig is missing his first game after 136 straight at middle linebacker.
They like Lockhart very, very much. They say he's big and is strong and certainly not as experienced, but they like him as a future middle linebacker.
1st and 10 for the Eagles. Jaworski has seen a lot of Dallas in his career because he sees them in his sleep. Pumps once, and the pass is intercepted. Intercepted by Mike Hegman at the 42-yard line. So Mike Hegman with the interception, and that is the 6th of the year for the Cowboys. The first 5 were in the opening game against the Rams.
Hegman really got great depth that time. Number 58 to the right of your screen. Throws to that. There's a little hesitation. He finally throws the ball, but Hegman by that time with a hesitation got right in front of the defensive back and comes up with the interception. And now the Cowboys have good field position with 1st and 10.
Kenny Jackson was the intended receiver. Hegman's 2nd interception of the season, and it's 1st and 10 now at the 42-yard line of the Eagles. Most of the action has been in Eagle territory so far. Dorsett tests the middle and doesn't get much, picks up a couple of yards, and that's all. Ken Clark, the nose tackle, makes the play. Tom Landry, who celebrated his 60th birthday this week, Hank, 25 of them coaching these Dallas Cowboys. And
he was kind of loose the other day. He didn't seem to be very, very concerned about the way his team has played, and I think it's twofold. Number one, there's no team in the division that's really dominating the scene. Of course, the Giants have won 2 games, but I don't think anybody expects them to do that on a continued basis. So I think that he feels that by the 6th game, they ought to be a pretty sharp football team.
Keep you up to date on the Giant Redskin game underway now. Renfro is in motion, 2nd down and 8. Hogeboom getting the rush, and Hogeboom is thrown to the turf by Jody Schultz. And Hogeboom was really hit hard and slow getting up. Jody Schultz playing in place of Reggie Wilkes, and he's got good pass rushing capabilities in his 2nd year.
And nobody touched him, and he's 6'4" and 235. Look, he gets a free shot. Nobody touched him. It looked like a screen pass that time, and threw him to the turf. A sack for Jody Schultz, number 53.
And the Eagles are not a dog or blitzing team, basically.
I think, however, that we'll see more blitzing during the course of this game than they normally like to do.
So it's 3rd down and 20 now. Elbert Fowles and Evan Cooper come in for the Eagles. They have 6 defensive backs in there. And the Cowboys back on their own 48. Dorsett can't hold on to it. It is an incompleted pass. A swing pass to Dorsett, incomplete. It'll be 4th down. And so the Cowboys, despite that first drive, sputtered on the field goal attempt and didn't do anything on Hegman's interception here.
Jerry Robinson, number 56, the inside middle linebacker. He got out there in the flat area. As I mentioned earlier, he's got 4.5 speed, and he got out there in great shape. He was the only one really involved. Had he caught the ball, that'd have been a long game.
So Danny White, who replaced Jim Miller as the Cowboy punter last week, and 3 of his 8 kicks were inside the 20, will be punting to Evan Cooper. who was a 4th-round draft pick. Low snap. And a good kick. Cooper inside the 10 at the 9. Fumbles. And he has it. A 43-yard punt, and Evan Cooper almost gave the Dallas Cowboys another golden opportunity. We'll be back.
Aha, pink footprints. A clue that this house is built with high-quality building products. Observe Exhibit A, the pink attic blanket insulation from Owens Corning. The most powerful roll of thermal protection you can buy. Follow me. Exhibit B, long-lasting roof shingles with a heart of pink fiberglass. Again, from Owens Corning. And attractive, easy to install Owens Corning fiberglass ceiling panels. Finally, the high-quality Owens Corning tub shower. Its slip-resistant surface has a pink panther.
Owens Corning, our building products put your house in the pink.
We are back at Texas Stadium. 9:58 remaining in the first quarter. No score between the Eagles and the Cowboys. And the Philadelphia Eagles have it 1st and 10 on the 13.
Cooper made a bad mistake. He should have let the ball go, especially on synthetic turf. He tried to catch it on about the 9.
Inside the 10, you got to let it go, right, Hank?
Yep.
Ron Jaworski, the quarterback. Inside handoff to Wilbert Montgomery. Breaks a couple of tackles and brings it out to the 22-yard line. A gain of almost 9 on the play. Well, for you fans that have been watching, the Minnesota Vikings beat the Atlanta Falcons 27-20. Welcome to our game here. Dick Stockton and Hank Stram at Texas Stadium to see what's up with the Cowboys, who are 1-1, and these Philadelphia Eagles, who are also 1-1, and right now talking to the defensive unit, particularly the secondary.
Fred Bruni, who was a great player for Ohio State, is on the sideline. He's assistant to the head coach, and he handles their defense.
Marion Campbell is starting his 2nd year as head coach. They're going to measure to see whether Montgomery indeed got the first down. It's close, and he missed by that much.
You know, talking to Landry yesterday, we asked him what 3 things he had to do to win the game. He said, number 1, stop Montgomery. Number 2, stop Quick. And number 3, control Jaworski. That's quite a task.
Well, Quick did not play last week. Montgomery did not play much of last year. And he could have added John Spagnuolo, the tight end, who really rounds out that Philadelphia offense. But
yeah, they really like him. It means that they cannot double cover the outside receivers that much, because Spagnuolo is good enough to lick people one-on-one, and he's done a good job so far in this short season. 2nd down and 1
for the Eagles on their 22-yard line.
Good time for a play-action fake.
Here's Wilbert Montgomery. All he needed was a couple of inches, and there's a Dexter Clinkscale coming in and knocking Montgomery back. He hit the wall and then was bounced back, but he may have a first down. Let's find out. Brunt Musburger with an NFL update.
We've got a pair of developments. The Washington Redskins have scored in the first quarter for the first time this year to take a quick lead on the Giants. The Chiefs have just scored to go ahead of the Raiders late in the 4th quarter. Back to Dick and Hank.
We're back here at Dallas. No score. And a penalty marker thrown on that last play. The referee is Chuck Heberly.
Illegal formation, offense, 6 men on the line.
Too many men on the line. It'll be 2nd down.
You know, Dick, in that situation, 2nd and 1 to 3, you get that opportunity about 3 times in a game, and I think you ought to take advantage of that opportunity as much as you can and try to get a big play.
That's a time you don't have to be conservative.
No, that's right. You got everything in the world to gain, nothing to lose. You still come up with 3rd and inches, and you ought to be able to make that. If you can't make inches, you know, on a 3rd down situation, you're going to be in trouble all afternoon.
Mike Quick out to the left, 2nd down and 6 at the 17. In motion, John Spagnuolo. Here's Montgomery. Can't get by the man penetrating in the backfield, and a fine play by Eugene Lockhart. So Eugene Lockhart making a fine play on Wilbert Montgomery. We were talking to Tom Landry about this 6th-round draft choice out of Houston, and he said he's an explosive linebacker. He is taller and heavier than Bob Brunig, and he's a lot more aggressive. than the other linebacker they like, Billy Cannon. But they expect good things from Eugene Lockhart.
Yeah, he's more of an instinctive player. He does what he feels, and usually feels very strongly about what he does and gets it done.
Cowboys in their 4-0 defense, which we'll explain shortly. On 3rd and 4, Jaworski loops it out, going for quick, but he was covered well by Everson Walls, who got burned a couple of times last week.
You know, last year when they played, Everson Walls was on Mike Quick all over the field. He was with him man for man, and he did the same thing that time. He went in motion, followed him all the way across the field, and had him faded in good shape.
Mike Horan, who took a leave of absence as a mechanical engineer with an aircraft company and won the job as punter replacing Max Runeker. There he is. Will be kicking to Gary Allen. Horan has been up and down, but he's gotten off one kick, nearly 70 yards. Left footer boots it, and a good kick, sending Allen way back. And Allen grabs it at the 27-yard line. Gary Allen is brought down at the 38-yard line. Not bad field position for the Cowboys, and a couple of players mix it up briefly. Tackled by Dave Pacella, and we'll be back after this.
You know people like me. We're young, ambitious. These are the uniforms we wear at work. But these are the uniforms we wear when we serve part-time in the National Guard and the Reserves. You see, in the Guard and Reserves, you earn extra money. So you not only serve your country, you serve yourself. Yet while you serve, you can live at home and keep your full-time job. Because in the Guard and Reserves, you don't have to give up one life to live another.
The National Guard and the Reserves. Talk to your local recruiter.
Buy my computer.
Hey, buy my computer.
No, buy my computer. There's one way to cut through today's computer clutter. Compare other business computers with Radio Shack's Tandy TRS-80 Model 2000. Judge the ease of operation, speed, graphics, software, and price. Compare. I believe your informed buying decision will be the Tandy 2000 personal computer.
See it during September at $300 off. We invite comparison.
Dick Stockton and Hank Stram. And Hank, as you mentioned at the outset, this is a team in transition. People always see Dallas Cowboys and expect certain things from them.
You know, it's interesting as we talked to Tom Landry about that situation. He feels that by the 6th game, he'll know a lot more about this football team.
And we'll see who's the quarterback, too. The other thing. 1st and 10. Dorsett doesn't get much. Find out what's going on around the National Football League. Vikings over the Atlanta Falcons 27-20. Indianapolis Colts leading St. Louis. You saw the Chicago Green Bay score. New England, after trailing 23-0, now leading Seattle 31-23 in the 4th quarter. And look at the New York Jets over Cincinnati 43-16 in the 4th.
Boy, that's hard to believe, isn't it?
2nd down and 9. Hogeboom's pass is caught into Philadelphia territory for a 1st down by Mike Renfro. So Mike Renfro, who's got the highest average per catch, nearly 20 yards, makes that play.
The key here, look, he's got time enough to throw the ball, and Renfro gets a free release, and he comes back for the ball just enough to make the reception. A good play by Mike Renfro, number 82. You know, he doesn't have great speed, but he's got terrific hands. He runs probably the 40 in about 4.7, 4.8 maybe, but he's got 4.3, 4.4 hands, and that's important.
Of course, the Cowboys used to be rich at wide receiver, but with injuries and retirements and trades, they're kind of soft right there. Here's a reverse, and here's Doug Donley on a handoff from Dorsett trying to go around end, but the Eagles played it very well, Hank, and he would have done well to get back to the line of scrimmage, and I don't think he did that. It was Ray Ellis who made the play, but Jody Schultz on the pursuit.
He looked like he ran with a lot of deliberation that time. He looked like he was afraid maybe he would pull the muscle. He did not fly around on the reverse. Anytime that you run a reverse, it's feast or famine. You've got to either fly and hope that you're going to make something, or maybe you're not, but you really got to go after it. He didn't look like he really pursued it real tough that time.
He was questionable right up to game time. He has a strained muscle in the backside, and of course the Cowboys with Butch Johnson traded, Drew Pearson retiring, and Tony Hill out with a shoulder separation. That's a big miss for the Cowboys. 2nd down and 11. Dorsett, not much room, and picks up a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Ray Ellis and Jody Schultz make the tackle on Tony Dorsett.
The first time they ran that play outside, we talked about the fact that they were going to try to run outside quite a bit this afternoon. That's about the 4th time already they've tried to do that. The first time they ran it, they were very successful, picked up about 9 yards. That time, Jody Schultz, number 53, and Harrison, the defensive end, played it much better, and he didn't make much yardage on the play.
The Eagles are looking to get back to that swarming defense that they had a few years ago. They're not getting the pass rush, which is something they have to get. Byron Darby and Harvey Armstrong in there. 4 down linemen for the Eagles. 3rd down and 8. Hogeboom drills it, springs, and knocking it away is Jerry Robinson, covering downfield. Right now for an NFL Today update, let's check in with Brent Musburger in New York. Brent, what do you have?
Dick, I've got the Giants. They've evened it up on the Redskins. It was this pass that set up their touchdown, Phil Simms. And McConkey, out of Annapolis, he was the receiver, and then they bucked in, kicked the extra point, and now it's 7-all. Let's go back to Dick.
All right, Brent, so the Giants continue to hang in there, and Phil Simms off to a terrific start, Hank.
Well, he's very capable. People lose sight of the fact that he was out for 2 years, but he's a very capable quarterback with good size and a good arm and moves well. He's a good one.
Danny White punting to Evan Cooper. Good kick, and Cooper's just going to let this one sail into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. And the Eagles, after that 47-yard kick, will take over, but there's a penalty marker down upfield at about the 45-yard line. The penalty is against Dallas.
I don't think they'll accept the penalty. I think they'll turn it down and just take the ball in the 20.
Ineligible receiver apparently is the call, and Cowboys are going to decline.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the kicking team, number 56. Declined. 1st down.
And when we come back, Tom Landry's Cowboys will be on defense again. It'll be 1st and 10 Philly at their 20.
Today's cars do things yesterday's cars didn't.
Please fasten seatbelt.
Their smaller, higher revving engines can break down an oil's viscosity within 1,500 miles. But tests show Castrol suffers no significant breakdown of viscosity even after 5,000 miles. So listen to your car.
Exceeding recommended RPM.
It may be telling you something. Castrol, engineered for smaller cars.
It's the Tops. Cheese on a soup or entree. It's the Tops. Cheese for a sauce or snack tray. It's the Tops on all-time favorites like apple pie. So celebrate. Sure it tastes great. Real cheese is why. So go ahead, add real cheese. You'll never stop. 'Cause cheese, it's the Tops.
Make your meals sing with real cheese.
Do you love a mystery? Angela Lansbury does.
Someone killed Sherlock Holmes.
America's best-loved sleuth is on the trail of murder, she wrote, Sunday, September 30th.
Hank, back and forth they go. Change of possessions and nothing going.
Well, Dallas has had possession 1st and 10 7 times and really hasn't done very much. Philadelphia 3 times, thrown the ball 2 out of 3 times, but they really haven't had good field position.
1st and 10 now at the 20-yard line. Montgomery is hit and hit hard in the backfield by Jim Jeffcoat, and a loss of them on the play. Now, you were talking yesterday to Marion Campbell about what you have to do against the Dallas Cowboys and asking him about the wisdom of passing on 1st down.
I think you really have to do that an awful lot. You got to run it to flex an awful lot, because in flex, I mean, they usually take a lineman or maybe 2 off the line of scrimmage, and that's why they call it a flex position. But I think they have to do more of that, but they can't do it unless they get better field position, which they haven't had so far.
Now it's 2nd and 12. 2nd and long, and here is Montgomery going left and hitting at the original line of scrimmage. Cowboys, aggressive, crisp. Eugene Lockhart and Randy White come up and make the play. Dallas Cowboys feel their defense hasn't been all that bad. Actually, they're 1st in the league in pass defense, but that's measured against yards.
Well, the other thing, totally they're 3rd in defense, 9 against the run, 1 against the pass. It's a big improvement over last year, and I think there's been a lot of controversy about the quarterback situation over last year, but really the problem they had last year was their inability to do a good job defensively. That was really the problem.
Ron Jaworski in the shotgun, 3rd down and 10 with 5:25 to go in the 1st quarter. No score. Eagles sitting on the 20. Penalty markers fly. This may be a free play for Jaworski, and he is going for Tony Woodruff. Overthrown. And let's see if the play was indeed against Dallas or whether they were drawn offside by the Eagles.
It looked like Smerrick might have been offside, number 60, but I couldn't tell for sure. Let's see what they call.
It is against the Cowboys, says Chuck Heberling. So this could be a 3rd and 5 for the Eagles.
Offside, defense, number 60, 2nd down.
It'll be 2nd down and 5. Don Smerrick, who comes into the ball game as one of the 4 linemen up front in that 4-0 defense that the Cowboys use on every passing situation.
You know, I talked to Dutton yesterday, John Dutton, who is 6'7", 255. He used to weigh about 275, but he's lost about 20 pounds, and he's playing much better. Smerrick's in the game now at that position.
3rd and 5. Tony Woodruff in the ball game as the 3rd wide receiver.
7 defensive backs.
At the 25. Up the middle, knocked down. Good play by Dexter Clinkscale. The intended receiver was Hubie Oliver coming out of the backfield. Chuck Heberling had said 2nd down, but it was indeed 3rd down, and the play was incomplete, and now the Eagles will have to punt.
It's very important when you play Dallas that you do not permit them to come in with 7 defensive backs. The fewer times they're in that position, the better a chance you have to win.
Allen is back for the Cowboys. Mike Horan will punt. Kicking from the 10, 5:11 to go in the first quarter. It's high. Allen at the 36 is hit and dropped. So the Cowboys will get a chance again. That was a 39-yard punt by Horan, and Michael Haddix made the tackle. We'll be back.
Folks will tell you I got something going all the time, and I got ways to get the dirty work done for me. This is it, the new Honda TRX 200. On my ranch, that full suspension and electric starting comes in real handy. In my oil fields, I can really count on that shaft drive. At the resort I'm building, that reverse gear gets you out of tight spots. I like the TRX 200 so much, I even got one, 2 for the office.
Come on in. The Culligan's fine.
Mom, do we wash these in hot or cold Culligan?
Today, more and more people are thinking Culligan instead of water. A Culligan water conditioner saves money on soaps, reduces dishwasher spots too. So maybe today you call it water, but tomorrow?
The future calls.
Hey, Culligan man.
The future calls for Culligan.
An exciting game in Indianapolis, and Neil O'Donoghue's 46-yard field goal with 7 seconds to go gave the Cardinals a 34-33 win over the Indianapolis Colts. Here in Dallas, Dick Stockton and Hank Strand. No score with 5:02 to go in the first quarter. Cowboys have the ball 1st and 10 on their 35-yard line. It's been back and forth and nothing doing. Hogeboom going to the air on 1st down. Second receiver is Cosby, the tight end. He can't get away from the defender, Jody Schultz, and he's down at the 38-yard line.
That time, Mike Renfro, again, I mentioned he doesn't have great speed, but he's got terrific moves. That time, he made an outside move on Wilson and beat him to the top, right up on top, but Hogeboom did not see him at all and dumped the ball off in the right flat, but he had a chance for a big play with Renfro.
Your feelings about the quarterback situation? A lot of people thought after last week maybe Hogeboom would be replaced. Landry said he never thought about that.
Well, I didn't think they could possibly do that with all the deliberation they were involved with making that decision. No way in the world that Landry could change quarterbacks after one loss because Hogeboom, it wasn't his fault last week.
2nd down and 7. He swings it out to Dorsett. Good catch by Dorsett. 1st down and more into Eagle territory and knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard line by Wes Hopkins. A 22-yard gain to Dorsett, who Landry says has wild hands. They come up at the last minute. They were good hands there.
They had a blitz that time. Look at Griggs coming up the middle. A great play against a blitzing defense. He has plenty of time to run outside, makes a good move. Herman Edwards finally makes the tackle, but not until after he makes a nice gain on the play.
So it's a 1st down for the Cowboys at the Eagle 42-yard line.
Well, that's a great time to call the screen pass because it's feast or famine, and the linebacker blitzing is going north and south when you're going east and west.
Here's Dorsett, hit at the line, bounces off a defender, and is caught. Maybe a loss on the play by Brenard Wilson. Right now, for an NFL Today update, let's go to New York and hear from Brent Musburger. Brent?
Dick, here was the winning field goal by Neil O'Donoghue for the Cardinals against the Indianapolis Colts. The key here is that the Colts missed an extra point earlier in the game, 34-33, and I think O'Donoghue had one coming. He's missed a lot of big ones the last couple of years. Let's go back to Dick.
You're right, Brent. In fact, O'Donoghue missed an extra point against Green Bay in the opening game, Hank. We were there, and it cost him that game.
Yes, and he missed a couple of field goals last year against the Giants that made a difference in that game.
Kept you working till about 2 a.m.
I never thought the game was ever going to end.
Second down and 12, draw play. Dorsett breaks one off the right side and is close to a first down at the 31-yard line. He may indeed have it. A quick trap. Ray Ellis makes the tackle on Tony Dorsett.
Herb Scott, 68, made a good block that time on number 53, Jody Schultz. There you see the block, just enough, gets a piece of him, just enough, so Dorsett could run to the inside and make a sizable gain on the play.
It's third and short now, and the Cowboys come in with the power game. They have Ron, Springs, and Newsom, Cosby, and Brian Salonen, a tight end, who's blocking now, and Ron Springs has the first down to the 30-yard line. First down at the 30 for the Dallas Cowboys. It was Newsom, who of course plays the same position Tony Dorsett does. He is big, he can catch out of the backfield, and has fullback abilities and can run. He's more of a power runner than he's ever been in the past, and he's an important backup for Tom Landry.
You know, they say pound for pound he's the strongest man on the team. Talking about Timmy Newsom, he bench presses 430 pounds. That's almost as strong as you.
By about 390. Hogeboom going to the air on first down, and he's going for Cosby, and it's almost intercepted by Ray Ellis, the strong safety. Cosby going deep. Ellis, who has won the job at strong safety, a good hitter.
Bad fake, trying to fake inside. Bad fake, good penetration inside. Tries to hit the seam of the zone, but Ray Ellis, number 24, really makes a sensational play and knocks the ball down.
Second down and 10. Here's Donley. What was he doing?
Well, he's running inside on the zone. He's wide open, but he doesn't see him. I think, you know, typically watching Hogeboom play, he makes up his mind who he's going to throw the ball to prematurely and throws the ball there regardless. And I think there was a great illustration of that kind of a situation.
That's the second time you pointed out where a wide receiver was open. Second and 10 at the 29-yard line. Hogeboom incomplete. He was going for Renfro on the play, and Herman Edwards was covering. You know, when we were reading the morning papers here and the letters to the editor in the sports page, they were vehement in defense of Danny White, wondering why people didn't criticize Gary Hogeboom for the loss last week the way Danny White has been criticized by the media for all the problems the Cowboys had last year.
You know, talking to Danny White yesterday, you had to be impressed with the style and class that he expressed about the situation. He was very low-key about it. You get the feeling that he feels that eventually he'll get the job back. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Third and 10 at the 29. Less than 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Hogeboom up the middle, and Waddell Smith can't hold on to it. It is incomplete. Waddell Smith, who is one of the top receivers in the Canadian League, defended by Herman Edwards. And Smith, who originally was with your old club, Kansas City, back in '77 as an 8th-round pick, almost made a circus catch.
Well, he just missed going to the Olympics in 1976, I think it was, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And ran a 9.4, runs a 9.400. Boy, he can fly, and he's a great kid. We had a good visit with him yesterday.
This is going to be a 47-yard field goal attempt. Rafeal Septien, who missed from 29 yards earlier. Holding will be Hogeboom with 1:51 showing on the clock. Septien's kick is long enough, and it is good. So Septien, who has kicked field goals of 31 and 52 yards so far this year, makes good from 47 yards out to give the Dallas Cowboys a 3-0 lead in this first quarter.
It never fails. The one thing most people overlook about their cars is the belts. You see, after 4 years, they can go any time. And since today's belts don't show wear, even I can't always tell when just by looking. So if your car's over 4 years old, replace the belts. And tell them you want gates. Now, they've been keeping engines cool for over 60 years, even longer than me. Remember, after 4 years, they can go anytime.
Here in England, people appreciate fine wool. So Hager brought their pure wool men's and women's wear to get the English reaction.
I've quite fallen in love with this jacket. I do hope you don't want it back.
Very fine tailoring, actually.
And the fabrics are lovely.
Are you sure these aren't English woolens?
Hager, you say? Isn't that a village in Surrey?
So look for pure wool fashions by Hager when you want to look and feel your best.
1:47 remaining in the first quarter. The Cowboys lead the Eagles 3-0 on Septien's 47-yard field goal, and he'll be kicking off now. Deep for the Eagles is Joe Hayes, a rookie, 7th-round draft pick, who bobbled the ball against the Giants, played better against Minnesota last week. The Eagles have not had good field position in this game so far, haven't done much with whatever they've had.
They've only had 3 possessions, and all of which have been inside the 20 and inside. It's tough.
Andre Waters, a rookie running back. The ball is brought out now. It'll be 1st and 10 Eagles, and maybe their best field position so far. Well, next Saturday, there's more college football on CBS Sports, and we've got an outstanding matchup. You'll see top-ranked Nebraska take on 7th-ranked UCLA. Last season, Nebraska rolled over the Bruins 42-10, so you can be sure the Bruins will be hungry for revenge. Nebraska, UCLA, good matchup, Hank, next Saturday here on CBS Sports.
It'll be an excellent matchup between, obviously, 2 of the very fine teams in collegiate football.
At the 32-yard line, the Eagles so far have only 1 first down. The trail only 3-0.
See if they throw the ball on 1st and 10 here. They got better field position. Here they
Play
go.
action. Jaworski, you're right, going up on top, and the pass is incomplete. Kenny Jackson, defended by Ron Fellows. Jackson, the rookie from Penn State and the #1 draft pick.
I think as we go along, you'll see the Philadelphia Eagles try to do an awful lot of work on Ron Fellows, number 27. Not that he's that bad, but they just feel that Walls is much better, and for that reason, they're going to give him a lot of business.
Jaworski off to a slow start. He came into the game with a terrific percentage of nearly 70%. And threw his first interception. He had come into the game 70 passes and no interceptions. Hegman picked one off, but the Cowboys didn't capitalize. 2nd and 10 at the 32 with 1:32 on the clock, first quarter. Jaworski swings it out. Hubie Oliver can't hold on to it. So the Eagles are struggling offensively on the scoreboard. The Vikings over the Falcons 27-20. The Bears beat the Packers 9-7, and Walter Payton 110 yards rushing in that game. The Cardinals on O'Donoghue's field goal nipped the Colts.
That's a great comeback. Boy, this is amazing. 31-23, New England, Seattle.
3rd down and 10. 3rd and long, and that 4-0 defense, and we'll explain exactly what we mean as we go on with the Cowboys 4-0. Jaworski under pressure, going up on top to Mike Quick, and he can't reach it. Everson Walls was closest to him, and Michael Downs put a good rush on Ron Jaworski. So far has come up empty today, Hank.
Well, when you talk about 4-0, I think sometimes it's very deceptive. What it really means is you got 4 linemen and 7 defensive backs. They take out the 3 linebackers and put 3 defensive backs in the game, 2 of which play the linebacking position. That time, both linebackers blitzed that time. Clinksdale and Victor Scott, 47-22 respectively.
Mike Horan to punt again. Gary Allen is back at the 23. Bobbles it, in trouble, and is hemmed in inside the 20-yard line. Hank, let's take a look at some scores now. The Jets over Cincinnati 43-23.
What an impressive win for the Jets. And look at the Raiders, 4th quarter, 22-20. That's really been a dogfight.
That game in Kansas City, the Lions have jumped up ahead of Tampa Bay 7-0 in the 2nd quarter.
And the Rams 7-0 over Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh.
San Diego 14-0 over Houston in the second quarter. And a lot of scores bring you up to date throughout the afternoon. Many games in progress now. Meanwhile, the Cowboys have 1st and 10 on their 18-yard line with 1:18 to go. Dorsett looking for running room. Gets beyond the 20 to about the 23-yard line. Jerry Robinson and Joel Williams make the tackle.
You know, being in the locker room with the Cowboys yesterday was a lot of fun, wasn't it? The way they needle each other. Got a kick out of Springs saying, "I'm tired of blocking for that midget. I have to get the ball more." And of course, Dorsett came back for some choice remarks, so they had a lot of fun.
Dorsett and Springs, and of course Dennis Thurman. He's quite a talker there. He's right in the midst of a lot of those running backs.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a lawyer, isn't he?
He started already. Under a minute, 35 seconds precisely remaining. And the Cowboys move in the backfield. Dorsett kind of jumped. So that should go against the Cowboys. Tony Dorsett started to take a couple of steps forward. You know, Dennis Thurman was talking to us about how his kid brother at USC says he's way behind his interception schedule.
Yeah, he said he ought to have at least 3 by now.
He's a tough guy, isn't he? It's only the 3rd game of the year.
Expects an awful lot from his big brother.
Illegal motion, 2 moving on the offense, 2nd down.
Dorsett had some company moving. Does that happen a lot, do you think, Hank, because they can go in any direction they want until a certain point?
Yeah, that's what, you know, a lot of times in that situation, they try to predetermine where they're going to be, and they have to be in a formation that they actually use, and not a phony formation. And so they sometimes try to anticipate where they're going to go and where they're going to be, and they lose sight of the fact where they have to be when the ball's snapped, and it's a problem.
2nd down and 10 on the 18. Dorsett trying the right side. Runs into Ron Springs, and Brenard Wilson had an easy play there.
I tell you, the pursuit that time of the Eagles was outstanding. Boy, they took off and ran, had good pursuit angles, and Brenard Wilson, number 22, came in and stuffed it very well at the line of scrimmage.
And Ron Springs couldn't get out of the way. We will not get another play off. There's the gun, and that is the end of the first quarter. So a rivalry which has been intense in the past between Dallas and Philadelphia. We have completed 1 quarter here at the home opener, Texas Stadium, for the Cowboys, who lead the Eagles 3-0.
I crushed a lot of quarterbacks in my day, and I'm real sorry. So I wrote this letter. Dear quarterbacks, I apologize for the way I treated you. Please let me buy you a light beer from Miller. Light's my beer because it tastes great. I'm sure it's yours too, because you little guys can't afford to get filled up. Hope to see you soon. Sincerely, L.C. Greenwood.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Do you know me? I'm one of the best-known cowboys in Texas. But a lot of people don't recognize me in a cowboy hat. So I just carry the American Express card. It can help you out in plenty of tough situations because you never know when you're going to be surrounded by redskins. Howdy.
To apply for the card, look for this display and take one.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
I hear that L.C. Greenwood has invited quarterbacks to join him for a light beer from Miller. Well, here's my reply. Dear L.C., I accept your gracious offer. A quarterback is far too intelligent to turn down a light beer because it's less filling and it tastes great. Even you big, clumsy linemen know that. Hope to see you soon. Sincerely, Bert Jones. Come on, Bert!
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
How'd he do that?
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Light Beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less. Radio Shack, the computer experts. And by U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Here at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, Dick Stockton and Hank Stram. We start the second quarter with the Dallas Cowboys leading the Philadelphia Eagles 3-0. It's 3rd and 10 for the Cowboys on their 18-yard line. Anthony Dickerson on the sidelines, waiting to go in and do some work.
He's got his own bodyguard there, too. You see the badge on that athlete behind him?
6 defensive backs in there for the Eagles. Hogeboom up the middle. Donley can't hold on to it. It was there, and it'll be 4th down. And we will see Danny White come in to punt again.
Doug Donley is not playing as recklessly as he normally plays. He's running kind of soft, and it's understandable. He's got a bad leg, and I'm surprised that they continue to use him, but because he's not going to be very effective if he continues to play this way and concern himself with that pull.
There is Evan Cooper, and the Eagles could get their best field position. Danny White, who is, you were talking about Danny White, what kind of a class guy he is. He's not been happy with things, but has kept his mouth shut.
Well, he's too great a competitor, and you can understand what he feels. They won 75% of the games with him at quarterback.
Evan Cooper at the 42 gets by one man and into Dallas territory, brings it into the 43-yard line where he's tackled by Jeff Rora. A 16-yard return by the rookie Evan Cooper, and the Eagles have their best field position when we come back in a moment.
Pontiac.
The editors of Road and Track call the Pontiac 6000 STE one of the world's 12 best enthusiast cars. Car and Driver called the Pontiac 6000 STE one of the 10 best cars of 1984. So why did we make it even better for 1985? Just because. The sensational 6000. Only from Pontiac.
We build excitement.
Pontiac.
In my baseball career, I was traded 9 times. But wherever I went, one thing was always the same. Everyone drank light beer from Miller. In Boston, they said the best thing about light was it's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer. In L.A., they said the best thing was light's less filling. But I think the best thing is it tastes great, right here in New York City.
Ken, this isn't New York.
Chicago.
No.
Milwaukee. Kansas City.
Light beer from Miller.
Omaha?
Everything you always wanted in a beer,
Spokane.
and less.
Utica?
Who shot down the F-20? Why is the governor saying all those terrible things? And who told her to say, where's the beef? Sunday.
It has been a monotonous afternoon so far for the Philadelphia Eagles offensively.
It really has been. Ted and Marchibroda is calling the plays from the sideline. They haven't had good field position. See how they start this drive. See if they throw the ball on 1st and 10.
They're at the 43-yard line of Dallas, by far their best field position of the game, trailing 3-0. And he's going to throw. 1st down, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage. And the Cowboys were looking for the interception. Dutton trying to get a deflection. I think it was Too Tall Jones, Ed Jones. He always seems to be the guy to get a hand up there. We'll find out who it is. There's Ted Marchibroda.
Yeah, the former head coach of the Baltimore Colts, and he's been around with a lot of teams, and they respect him very much. They like him very much. One thing that Jaworski said about him was that nothing fancy. He has just analyzed very carefully what they do best, and that's what this team is going to try to do. They're not going to worry about anything else. Just do what we do best, and it's going to be interesting to see how well they do that this afternoon.
So far, they haven't done all that well. You saw the total yardage for the 1st quarter. 2nd down and 10 at the 43. Here's a pass dropped by Spagnola, the tight end. So Jaworski got the ball on the money to his tight end, who last week caught 8 passes, a high for him in his career, but not there. And now Ron is 1 for 9.
Well, I think that kind of a pass, and when you throw a ball in the flat to a back or a tight end in the middle area, the ideal place to throw the ball is right at the numbers and below the shoulder pads or below the head. Minute you have to reach high for a ball, you're wide open, you have a tough time to regain your balance, and a lot of times those balls are tipped and wind up being interceptions.
So you're saying that was not a good pass?
Well, he should have caught it, but the ideal thing should have been to throw the ball to numbers. That's where it should be, for those tight ends to make a good catch and run with it.
Eagles have not converted on 3rd downs yet. They haven't moved at all on the 43. Jaworski looking right, throwing left, and turning around is Kenny Jackson. He was defended by Ron Fellows. He got turned around there. So once again, despite the good field position, Ron Jaworski, it's 3 plays and kick.
Yeah, it's the old Lawrence Welk offense, a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and kick. But, you know, the thing about good quarterbacks like Jaworski, they're going to have a bad quarter or maybe even 2 bad quarters, but they're not going to have 4 bad quarters very often. And I think he'll settle down and do much better as the game progresses.
Allen is back. Horan will kick again. He's had a busy day so far. Just the start of the 2nd quarter. Short kick going for the corner. And Allen is going to look at it go out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Well, Horan knew what he was doing. It was a low punt, and it went out of bounds at the 1. You can't ask for anything better than that. And the Cowboys are backed up.
Pontiac.
When you get a Pontiac Sunbird, you get a car that's practical and easy to own. When you get a Pontiac Sunbird, you get a car that's technically advanced and carefully built. And when you get a Pontiac Sunbird, you can also get a car with 150 turbocharged horsepower. If you're so inclined. Sunbird, only from Pontiac.
We build excitement.
Pontiac.
The final basket. Match point. The last lap. Right now, your body's thirsty for more than water. It needs Thirst Aid. Gatorade.
Gatorade is Thirst Aid for a deep down body thirst.
When you exercise, you lose more than water. You lose potassium, minerals, fluids. Gatorade puts it all back fast. It's no ordinary thirst quencher. It's Thirst Aid.
Gatorade is Thirst Aid for a deep down body thirst.
There's Marion Campbell, the head coach of the Eagles, on the left, and he told us yesterday that without question the Eagles have a much better attitude this year. We asked him why. He said, well, a lot of the veterans are tired of losing.
Yeah, and plus the fact he said the line is healthy, they're running better, Mike Haddix is doing a good job, and Montgomery is back, makes a big difference.
First and 10 on the 1-yard line, trying to get out of trouble in the middle. Dorsett, maybe a yard, and that's all. Hogeboom.
I think it's a good place to throw the ball on 1st and 10, or if you run the ball, stick it at him on 1st and 10 to try to get out of the soup on a 2nd down play. Let's see if they try to employ that kind of strategy here.
2nd and 9. Hogeboom in the opening game against the Rams had 33 completions to break Danny White's record. He's 5 for 12 for 82 yards. Dorsett dives to about the 6-yard line. Dorsett has gained 41 yards in the ball game before that play. It'll be 3rd down now, and a big down for the Eagles defense.
You know, it's very obvious in this portion of the field, both teams have been very conservative, and both teams are very fearful. They don't want to lose the game. If they're going to be on the short end of the stick, they feel they're going to get beat, but they don't want to lose and make a mistake in this portion of the field and wind up giving the other team good field position. And I think this has been expressed by both teams so far.
Waddell Smith, one of the new receivers, comes out on the same side as Donley. Renfro to the right, 3rd down and 6. Hogeboom trying to get out of trouble, and a near interception, and that would have been 6 points, I think. Brenard Wilson saying, why couldn't I hold on to that? Wilson had it picked off on the pass intended for Cosby.
Good anticipation, too, on the part of Brenard Wilson. He just did not catch the ball. He was right there. They were in a zone.
Coming in, calls for the fair catch. Did it hit him?
No, I don't think it did.
Cowboys will down it at the 40-yard line, and it did not hit Cooper, but it was awfully close, Hank.
That's what happens when there's indecision. You got to make a decision. You got to make a decision to catch the football and get a good jump.
Or get away from it.
He didn't have good anticipation at all. A little hesitant, got there way too late, tried to get away from it. Luckily, it did not hit him.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Eagles after that 35-yard kick just inside the 40 when we come back.
I tell you, playing polo is a lot tougher than it looks.
Sure is.
And even though the horses do the running, you still can work up a thirst.
So after a chucker or two, we equestrians drink light beer from Miller.
Yeah, light tastes great, and it's got a 1/3 less calories than the regular beer.
And it's less filling.
And that's important, because tomorrow we're going to try our hand at water polo.
Yeah, I sure hope those horses can swim.
Me too.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And less.
Pontiac.
The editors of Road and Track call the Pontiac 6000 STE one of the world's 12 best enthusiast cars. Car and Driver call the Pontiac 6000 STE one of the 10 best cars of 1984. So why did we make it even better for 1985? Just because. The sensational 6000. Only from Pontiac.
We build excitement.
Pontiac.
Attention commuters, be alert for erratic driving patterns as America goes on a cannonball run with lots of stars, including Dom DeLuise, Farrah Fawcett, and Burt Reynolds, Wednesday.